What is going on, everybody? My name is Max, and I'm back at it again with another legit food review. For today, I'm bringing to you not one, not two, but three limited Sonic items that you need to get today. So without further ado, the first thing is a smaller snack item. This is an item that was actually brought back in January for a limited time. You never know how long that'll last. But it was originally brought in July 2023, and that is the Buffalo Chicken Bites. So you can see right there, it's just a buffalo chicken filling of essentially a ravioli that's been deep fried. I'll get this one out of the way, and then we have one entree and one drink to review later. First thoughts, flaky crust, thin crust. Honestly, you can see right there, the crust itself, probably a bit thinner than your average ravioli. The crinkle cut of the ravioli size really adds to that crispiness because it cinches off the thickness to almost nothing, which really gets exacerbated by the fryer. You can see the inside filling, definitely a good mix with some cheese substance. Definitely a true buffalo chicken flavor, where it really brings out that almost twang of vinegar flavor, but nothing to write home about when it comes to the spice level. Hints of pepper. Overall, for what fills into more of the snack category that more and more restaurants are trying to bring out, think your Burger King's wraps, your Sonic wraps. These are targeting a specific product segment that is, I don't want to pay for, or I don't want to eat an entire lunch, but I don't just want your regular run-of-the-mill dollar item. And in a day and age where the dollar menu is becoming obsolete, what's coming back in are now these smaller $2 to $5 snack options. So with that, I'll do an individual rating on the Buffalo before I move on. Honestly, not much that can go wrong when it comes to a fried item. Oftentimes, when you have these deep fried doughs, they can absorb too much of the fry oil and it can just taste off-putting. But there wasn't that much residue of oil on my lips after eating it, so this is probably going to get one of my higher ratings. Maybe could have been a more nuanced filling, but I'll put it at a 8.88. With that, I'm going to wash that off with the second item from today, and that is an online digital exclusive, which is the Dirty Dr. Pepper. So this is something you can only get in the app. It was released early on, I believe, October 28th on the Sonic app, but released alongside the regular winter menu, which came out in November on the 4th. And what is a Dirty Dr. Pepper, right? Dirty is a kind of movement that's been brought out by people who are from Utahians. And essentially, since people from Utah are oftentimes Mormon, they can't have caffeine. So what they do is they try and act everything except the caffeine, right? So what do they do with sodas? They make it dirty, which is putting creamer in it. It might sound very strange, but once you've tried it, it'll really contextualize why an entire state of the United States is doing this. So for the Dirty Dr. Pepper specifically, you have your Dr. Pepper, you have the lime flavoring, which is pretty standard, what Sonic is known for when it comes to the cherry limeade and others. And it also, those are the main two things. And then you have the cream and then coconut flavoring. So dirty is usually you have a cream and then a flavoring of some form. So that flavoring is the coconut and the lime, and then you have the cream. So with that, I'll take a sip. First thing that hits you is coconut cream. It tastes like I got a new Chobani creamer flavor that's like coconut flavored. I don't even know if that exists right now. It's pretty good. My only downside here is the upfront nature of the cream and the coconut really detracts from the lime flavor that I would say I like more, and it almost subdues the caramelness that comes with your regular Dr. Pepper. So when I'm drinking this right now, sure, the coconut flavoring tastes good. It's definitely a very unique combination, but it's not really a Dr. Pepper anymore, is the point I'm trying to get at. But overall, it is a good drink, very unique. I appreciate fast food chains, and you'll see this in my prior reviews. Fast food chains that really push the bleeding edge when it comes to cuisine. And I feel like both of these items do that in different ways. But for the drink flavoring itself, since it doesn't really meet that proper flavor profile that I would want in a drink that's going to get a lower rating, I'm going to say still good, probably an 8.05 repeating. But with that, we'll move on to our last item here. And this is the Double Queso Smasher. This was also released alongside the winter menu in November. And I'm going to run you through everything that's in here. So you can see right there, you have the queso flavoring, but you can also see on the patty itself, it still also has American cheese, which is also something very important I want to note, and then we'll give some nuance on it once we take a bite. And you can see there the jalapenos, and then I believe little Frito Crispers you can see right there. One thing I did want to note that I did see in the news articles for this item, the jalapenos are real jalapenos. Even though they still might be canned or jarred, they have retained the seeds, and that's where most of the spicy flavor is coming from, right? And then another item, you can see it meshed in with the queso. However, there's also regular onions, and that's another thing I'll elaborate on after I take a bite. Nothing nuanced about the bun. The patties are smashed instead of a regular patty. Oh, wow. Okay. One more bite. Wow. That's impressive. So I'm going to break it down. Bottom up, bun, light, complements the texture of the patty. Patty itself, still juicy. You get a little bit of that crisp from the smashing action. Queso complements the heat and the spiciness from the jalapeno. And I will say, for the spice, this is probably the first fast food burger I've had ever that actually was spicy to me. And that's coming from the seeds, right? When you look towards other spicy items, they might just have banana pepper, and that's not even the same category as a jalapeno. And even then, the banana pepper that you're getting doesn't really have the seeds. Same thing for other chains. When it comes to like a spicy sauce that you can see on a spicy chicken from Burger King, or what goes into the batter for a spicy chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A. This is mass market appeal. It's not real spice. And even this is mass market because the jalapeno is still very low on that capsaicin scale. But even still, I do get that bite, and it does linger after, which I really appreciate. That's complemented by the queso. I think it's muddled a little bit by using both queso and real cheese, but I will compliment them, and I won't add this as a detractor to my score, as still including the American cheese does make it a more premium item compared to, let's say you go to Taco Bell, you're paying base for the queso or the nacho cheese in Taco Bell's case, and then you have to pay more for just your regular run-of-the-mill slice, or in Taco Bell's case, shredded American. So I think that's good. And then continuing on, there's those crunchy parts, and honestly, I didn't really feel the crunch from those little Frito strips as much as I did from the jalapenos themselves, because they were a relatively good thickness. They weren't sliced very thinly. So Even that, I will say, is a plus to differentiate the texture with each bite. And then the last thing I wanted to know is the grilled onions, or rather the lack thereof of them being grilled. They are just sliced raw onions. And when it comes to an item like this, when you're trying to bring out the butteriness of the smash burger, the texture of the queso, and the unique flavor profile of the jalapeno, you want something else to complement those items. And a regular onion really doesn't do that for me. And this is someone else's opinion, so I did want to bring that up before introducing it to you all. However, I would say that these should have been grilled onions. And why is that? Grilled onions would have, one, differentiated the texture more, because it would have given that more smooth texture, similar to the queso, but more different from the jalapeno. That way you know what you're chewing with each bite when you do get a piece of that onion. And a regular onion itself, let's be honest, doesn't have a lot of flavor to begin with. So that's why I would be a proponent of this being an onion. However, I will commend them for actually giving thought into, hey, it's a queso smash burger. We're not just going to put queso on it. We're going to put these other things on it. So I really appreciate them for that. Definitely good winter mood item. I don't know if I ever think about queso in the winter specifically, but I think they definitely give their own story when it comes to that. So for the burger itself, definitely landmark, definitely flavorful, definitely a good ingredient choice. I don't see much else reason not to give this a higher score too. I'm going to probably give it, let's say, an 8.746. So better than the drink, slightly below the buffalo chicken bites. But that's it when it comes to the ratings. I hope you all have an opportunity to get these. Again, when it comes to the drink and the burger, they are both on the winter menu, so I would make sure to get these as soon as humanly possible before everyone else goes there and crowds the stalls at your local Sonic, to make sure that you get a chance to try these items for yourself. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any thoughts on what I was able to share with you all. Peace out, everyone, and see you in the next one.